And
Hello!
how are we
Hello!
all?
With
Hope everyone's
love.
having a good Monday. Where the Monday can go.
Moody Monday. Monday blues.
Monday blues. How
Yeah.
are we all? I'm just going to tweet whilst everyone turns up. I'm just going to tweet that we're live. Because I
Same.
forgot to do that.
Same. We're
Because
live!
we're live, people.
Oh, I
We
can't spell we
are
are live. I put Q-Lu-Lu-Lu-Lu.
live.
Because I've got nails on and they're growing out, so now my nails are too long.
Oh, the pink nail still.
Yay! I actually like them way more than I thought I would. You know, the pink's not my thing.
Yeah, well,
So
pink's pink.
I'm surprised I like them. I do.
We have an Emma.
Hello,
Hello,
hello, hello.
hello. And we have a Tony. Hello,
Hello,
hello, hello.
friends. Hello, friends.
So I think we should start by saying, what did you rate? I think we should just go straight into it.
Yeah.
What did you rate Bird Promise?
4.
4 stars.
Yeah.
I obviously rated it 5 stars because let's be real, it's a 5 star for me.
For
We'll
you.
talk about spoilers in a second. I'm just gonna give people a few minutes just to. We'll do overall feelings.
Overall feelings.
Hello, hello. Have an Amy.
Hello,
Hello,
Amy.
hello. Oh, thank you.
Thank you very much, Lee.
Yeah.
What did y'all rate it? Tell me it's 4
Yes,
stars.
give everyone needs to give their ratings in the comments, please, so that I understand the feel of it. Because I do feel like this book takes a really dark turn. It's not
Yeah.
too dark, but it's definitely darker than the first books. The first 3 books.
Yeah.
There's definitely a shift in tone in this book.
Yeah. I agree. Becca gave it 5, didn't she?
Becca did give it 5. Becca absolutely loved it.
I feel like I'm surprised I only gave it a 4. um, but yeah, it was just you'll probably know why I gave it a 4.
Well, we'll talk about why you gave it a 4 when we start talking about spoilers. Tony gave it 5 stars. Liam gave it a meep. I don't know if that's just a meep or you gave it a meep. Please give me your meep rating, Liam. Is it a 1 meep or a 5 meep? This was my least favorite of the series when I read it, but I still give it like 4. I think that's fair enough.
I'm gonna check and see what I've rated them. I think I've rated them all a 4.
I thought, did you give Frostbite 4?
Oh no, I gave Frostbite 5.
Mm,
I gave Frostbite 5.
yeah.
Yeah, that was a my favorite Frostbite. Um, yeah, Frostbite was a 5. I gave it a 4, 5, 4,
4.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, 4, 5, 4, 4. No, I don't think it's gonna take a lot to beat Frostbite. A lot.
Liam was the opposite. It was his favorite.
Yeah.
5 meeps.
It wasn't the worst so far for me. The first one was the worst so far for me. I don't know if it's because it was just a lot of like building up to everything and it was just a bit it was very much a first book in a series, but I think I've suffered from the fact that I've seen the film so many freaking times. I knew everything about the first book anyway.
Yeah.
So for me, it was just kind of like I know it. It's a although there were slight differences in the first book, it was just very much okay.
Yeah. There's a level of once you've seen the movie, you kind of half know what to expect.
And obviously, I rewatched the movie multiple times because Dimitri and you know,
Yeah.
and
I
Christian,
love
but
I love I love Dimitri in the film.
yeah, Dimitri and Christine can just all day every day, but Yeah, it
Yeah,
was a bit. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. Like, nice.
But after that, like, I do like one more thing I will say is that I like the fact that they do like a bit of a catch up at the beginning of each book, just in case you had like a bit of a gap. I keep saying like, in case you've had a bit of a gap between each book, even though we haven't. Just in case you have, she gives like a little bit of an update on where we are now, what
Yeah,
happened last time, sort of thing.
I'm pretty sure she released them yearly for like 6 years in a row.
Yeah,
So
which makes
having that,
sense why she's done that. Yeah,
yeah, I do
I
like the
do.
recaps.
Yeah, definitely.
I
Because
think more
even though
books
we
would
only
be
read
better.
them, yeah, even though we read them month apart, the amount of books I read in a month, sometimes it is, even though it's a month apart, just good to have a little bit of a catch up and be this right. This is where we go, and I think it's because because I'm reading another YA series that is very similar in, I think, is similar in writing style. Although at the moment Cassie is beating this one out a bit. The writing style is very similar. Um, it definitely is good to remind you to separate the books, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think we should start talking about spoilers now.
Yeah.
I think we need to delve into the plot line slightly deeper. So I'm just
It all
gonna
pisses
give
me
you
off.
a 10-second warning of spoilers that are incoming. You have 10 seconds to yeet yourself from this live if you haven't watched or read even the book. We are going to be talking about spoilers now. So, why did you give it 4 stars, not 5 stars?
Because Rose just pissed me right off.
What
I
made Rose piss you off?
The fact that she knows Strigoi are just heartless motherfuckers, and I don't care how much you love a person, she knows, but then she still falls for Dimitri's shit, and I'm like,
But
how have you not learned from your like, oh, it's
I
like Clary
think
all over again. It's no.
But I think the thing is with Rose is that she knows that when she first meets him, she knows it, but it's still the shock of seeing someone you love. And it's that minute hesitation that causes her to end up being in that situation. Dimitri then uses her as a blood bag, and the endorphins create a drug like effect. And
But
there's that.
she, even when she first met him, she never fully 100%. Why the hell is my camera doing this glitchy thing? She never 100% trusted that it was the same person. Even until she went into like a drug haze thing, she was still very much like it's still not him behind the eyes. It's still not him. It's still not fully him. But then she let him get close enough to maybe get a drink from her. That, despite her gut telling her that it was absolutely not him, she still, she still, after being like, I'm all grown up now and I make adult decisions. No, you don't.
But that's the
You
thing.
fucking-
She's only just turned 18. Her first love, the love of her life, is in front of her. She's never had to deal with that before.
she ignored her. I said, don't hesitate. She
But
didn't,
that's
and
the
he fucked
thing.
her up.
But then she didn't hesitate when she staked him on the bridge.
Instead of fucking killing him, she didn't do the job right. She didn't hesitate, but it's like, I think that's fair enough, bye.
To be fair, she was at an awkward angle.
Oh, God, no. No.
But the thing is, she did, and I think she learned a lot in this book.
You said
I
that
think,
last time! She
but
clearly
every
hasn't!
book she's learning more. Like every book she's learning more.
Oh,
If
man.
you compare the Rose at the end of this book to the Rose at the beginning of Vampire Academy, do you or do you not think she has grown so much?
Next question.
But
Like,
she's
no,
but the thing
age-wise, yeah, she's physically, literally grown up. She's a year older, mentally and like,
but
oh,
she's
I don't
taking
know.
more responsibility in this book. she's taken, like, at the end of this book, she's
By
taken
abandoning her best friend.
that's the thing, is that she did that because she felt like she had a responsibility to Dimitri to kill him because of the fact of what was said in book 1. She now knows at the end of this book that she made a mistake, and she is actively going to school. She's going to keep her promise of going to school for 2.5 months. That's what she said at the end of this book.
But did you not think that because she knew there was this shadow kissing between her, she spent the whole of the last book finding out that there's this bond that they've got where she takes her darkness, and she had been taking her darkness. She knew this, although she didn't tell anybody. She kept it to herself, that she felt like she was taking her darkness the whole time. Did she not think, like with that brain, that if she left,
But she was
that
still taking her darkness.
but she wasn't there to protect her. Like, did she not think that, like, the whole point is her being trained up to be her guardian? Her guardian, her original guardian, is now a Strigoi. Like,
But
she is the only person there that was supposed to be there to support her, and like, and then she just fucks off after a guy that she loves, and like leaves her best friend.
I think the reason why she
What's
left
it doing
at the end of
about?
book 5, the end of book 4, I think she left at the end of book 4 is no, book 3, sorry, is she was still recovering from the dark, like the amount of darkness that she had taken from Lissa. Like, she had taken so much darkness from Lissa, so she wasn't making the best decisions. Lissa herself was being really selfish in that book and the book before.
Mm.
Like, Lissa wasn't being herself either. They weren't the same duo that we had at the beginning of book 1. And I think both of that mixed in with Dimitri's death made Rose go, I'm going to be an adult, like we all do when we're 18. Oh, we're suddenly 18, we can make life altering decisions. And go off and do what she thinks is the right thing at the time. I don't think we're ever going to agree on Rose's like growth
I
here.
just feel like it's the whole. It just reminds me of, like, you know. Again, I'm gonna compare it to the other series we're reading. You feel like they've made growth, like they've grown, they've made good choices, you know, learn things about themselves, and then they just take 50 steps back, and you're like, bitch, what?
I
Like,
think that's the thing with life, though, is that no matter how many times you grow, there's still room for making mistakes. And at the end of the day, you're never going to truly learn unless you make the mistake a few times.
what, potentially getting yourself killed every week, every
Yeah,
year, every 6 months.
yeah. That's how it works, isn't it? However, this is another 10
Oh,
years later book of where everyone is. I'm not going to say anything. But let's just say Bloodlines, a few people turn up, and that is set in the future.
oh.
I feel the same about as Lissa about Rose, but I still gave her 5 stars. I'm going to say no, she hasn't grown as much as she should have.
This is what I mean. I feel like if I'd been through that trauma of, like, yes, and I understand that her and Dimitri had this agreement that, if she turned, he'd kill her, if he turned, she'd kill him. But she also had this bond, this connection, this oath to Lissa to protect her. And knowing that the actual one of her actual guardians had been turned, therefore the people that were supposed to be guarding her wouldn't.
But she had the school's guardians, and as Rose said, and as was demonstrated, Lissa is the last Dragomir. Like, she will always have the top of the protection of the
But not
guardians.
people that know her.
But that's the thing. It, you know,
Had
Rose
she
was
not fucked off,
angry.
she wouldn't have got done over by that bitch that decided to come in and be like, "Woo,
Yeah,
mind fucking her."
we'll talk about Avery in a second. We'll talk about Avery in a
It's
second.
all her fault she got mind fucked.
I do think book 5 and particularly book 6 is her biggest growth, but in this one she is still in her young teenage crush stage, and torn between being a teen and now the adult. And I think that's what this book is all about. It's about still being a teenager but trying to be an adult.
The thing that I struggle with is maybe because I would probably, if I'd have related to her, I probably would have given it a 5. But it's because I have never been, I've been in love before at that age, but at that age, and getting into some like trigger warning thing, like, domestic abuse kind of thing. But I was in a situation where I was in love with someone who did something bad to me. And I was at a stage where, like, because I can't imagine being that kind of person, it's like, oh my god, I love him, I'll do anything for him. Um, I don't, you can't blame it on being a teenager, but I think it's just because I don't relate to that mentality of just chasing after a guy. Um, like when you know that he's not the same, especially when you know he's not the same person that you fell in love with. Like I can't, I would never do that. I could have been in a position to just chase after someone who fucked me over or whatever, but or wasn't the same person I fell in love with, but I chose not to. And I feel like because I can't relate to doing that as a character, it pisses me off that she did that and that she just dropped someone who she was supposed to protect and love and like who was like a sister who saved her life and she just dropped her for a guy.
But
In
I
my
don't
eyes, that's
think
just like baffling.
but I don't think Lissa in book 3 was very sisterly at all towards
True,
Rose.
true.
I think at that point in time, both of them had drifted so far apart. Dimitri had taken over in Rose's priorities in her head.
Yeah, I suppose.
There's got to be. I always think relationships are a two-way street, and you've got to keep going back and forth. It's not something that you can. It's not a dead end. You go back and
Yeah.
forth between the two of you, and I think that road had broken between Lissa and Rose.
Mm,
Um, and I think that time apart helped them see their mistakes. And
yeah. I
as
will give
per
you that. I will give you that. They both realised that they'd both been a bit selfish in a way and thought about themselves rather than friendship. But again, the adult thing would have been communication. It's the whole thing, isn't it? The,
But
the
they're
whole
not
thing is
adults, they're 18-year-olds. They've
no, but
only
the
just turned
whole
18.
this all hinges on the fact that it's just a massive miscommunication, isn't it? Which is what 99% of YA books hinge on. Also, a lot of contemporaries. It's like things wouldn't happen if they communicated, but we wouldn't have had this book had they have communicated. So that it's a plot device, isn't it? There's a massive I don't want to talk to her because I think she's happy, and then obviously, like I said, part of it is because she's taken all the darkness, so she got snappy with Lissa, which meant that Lissa didn't want to be around her, which makes sense. But yeah, it is very much used as a plot device, which I think for me it was just frustrating and I couldn't get past that frustration. Every time I was reading a bit more and she was still there and I'm like, bitch, leave. Why are you staying there? You know this is wrong. And
But the thing is, as well, is once he had first bitten her, you've got to remember she's a drug addict when it comes to these endorphins. She was nearly there in book 2 or book 1. After Lisa had been drinking from her for a while, it's a rush. It's like a drug being
yeah,
bitten, and the endorphins are being bitten. And I know she spent a couple of chapters trying to get off those endorphins so she could leave.
yeah. I will give her that. I will give her that. She eventually realised that she shouldn't have let him do it in the first place and that he was manipulating her, that the Demetrius she knew was genuinely gone. But and again, I know I should have thought this at the beginning, we would have read this book. That's not the point. Point is the fact that she, even before she let him bite her, and before he was chatting, like I could read it. I could even just by the way he was talking to her, and when you listen to it, you can tell that it's not the same Dimitri. Like
But
she wanted that so bad that it was just
she
like,
was a teenage girl who wanted her first love back.
yeah, true.
And, at the end of the day, an 18-year-old going to kill your first love and they start saying things and manipulating you, what are you going to do? You're going to sit there and take it because you want your
Actions to the
first love.
heart, you fucker.
You're going to sit there and want them to say the things that you want them to say. It's kind of. It's a tricky one
Yeah,
because
I
some
get it.
some
I get it.
people
It's
relate to
just
it and some people don't.
Yeah.
I do see the growth. I feel like I give her a lot of leeway for her age, though. Yeah, I read Bloodlines. I would also love to know where they ended up to. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, yeah, it took them until the end of the book to realize they should communicate
Yeah.
there. Yeah. So there were some major revelations in this book that I feel like we need to talk about. The
Yeah.
first one I think we need to talk about is Abe,
Daddy. Daddy.
Daddy Dearest.
Daddy. I knew there was something about him. I'm like, I mean, I didn't think dad. No,
Mm.
well, I kind of, I don't know, because they hinted at the previous book that her dad was someone, didn't it? But I didn't put two and two together until he kept coming back, and then I was like, maybe he's not just here. Like, he's clearly not here to kill her. He's clearly not here to, you know, he's helping her. But it was a bit strange they didn't just like drag her back to. He could have easily, with his power, just dragged her back, being like, "Stop being such an absolute pleb, and I'm gonna drag you back home." But he didn't.
Yeah,
Like, and that to me was a bit strange. It was like, then when it came out that it was daddy, um, I was like, oh fuck, that makes sense.
yeah.
But I won't. I don't like. I don't like it. I don't like that his dad.
Why don't you like that he's dad?
I don't think he's gonna bring her any good whatsoever. Like, he clearly makes his money by doing illegal shiznish. So I don't want Ro to not only does she have a destroy ex first love, her dad's some kind of drug lord or some kind of illegal, gangster guy. Like,
Gangster guy. Yeah.
gangster guy.
But you can see where she gets her determination from and like her
Yeah.
stubbornness.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that was so nice to see because as much as you see a little bit of stubbornness from her mum was like it's the complete opposite to her in a lot of ways. So to be able to see those opposites in Abe
Yeah.
and sort of build that connection was quite nice. I quite liked it.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I don't know. I'm
I
glad that
think he
she's
has a lot of proving himself. Like if he wants to be in Rose's life, he has a lot to prove. I don't think there's I don't think that there should be an instant bond between the two of them.
I want to know why the fuck he fucked off in the first place.
Well, a lot of the time, as is sort of mentioned throughout the book, a lot of Maroys don't want a damn peer wife, and it's frowned upon basically.
Hmm.
And I think that played into a lot of it. And also, don't forget what the Queen said in book 3 and how the Queen had a crush on Abe as well.
I know. Oh, is that why she hates Rose?
That's why she hates the Hathaways.
Um, but I don't know with that though. Like, I get that. Like, fair enough if that's the case. But why not tell her who her dad is?
Because when you're a teenager, you want to go find out who your dad is, don't you? If you've never seen your dad, you'd want to go see him. And I think her mum was protecting her a little bit by not saying who her dad was. And also, from the sounds of it, Janine had feelings for Abe. And
Yeah.
you saw that when she touched the scarf and sort of started talking and opening up about him. I think you really sort of felt that she did love him.
Yeah.
And there's probably a little bit of heartbreak there as well for her.
Yeah.
And you know what,
That makes
Ruth?
sense. Well,
You know what the Hathaways are like when it comes to love. They don't talk about it.
Secret love. They should have been a
Yeah.
fucking. I should have read this for a reading some book.
Um.
Hidden secret love.
Yeah. Secret love. Um. But can we please talk about the Belikovs?
No.
Why not?
Because it made me cry. They were so sweet.
They're adorable. The
They're like
perfect
the
family.
in-laws that you'd want, aren't they? Apart
Yeah.
from the sister who went a bit like, woo, became like, Yeah.
Or Victoria, Vic.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think she was doing that. I think she did that because she felt betrayed by Rose, because there was a level of, you think you're better than us. And, it's a bit like how Rose threw a temper tantrum when she couldn't be with Dimitri. It's that you can't tell me who I can and cannot love. The difference is that Dimitri loved Rose back. Roland did not love Victoria back.
You can just get in the bin.
Yeah. And I liked how it showed how not all blood whores go around, like, become blood whores because they want to be blood whores. It
Yeah.
might just be circumstance and they might be
They're in
tricked.
love with someone. Yeah. Yeah. I
You
did
know,
like that. And I mean, I guess maybe if Rose had stuck around, there would have been some forgiveness there and they would have built this bond or whatever. But yeah, the family are the kind of in-laws that you want, and I think that's gonna. I don't know if that's gonna play a part in a maybe not killing Dimitri second time round. But then again, they said that because his guy was already dead, wasn't they? They had a massive funeral for him. So
yeah.
I think her killing him now wouldn't make a big difference. But I loved how the grandma pretended not to understand English, and then she was just like, "I'm disappointed in you." I'm like, you can just imagine in one of those, like, if it was played out in a film, that there'd be this old hag that would sit in the corner, just like knitting away and like going, and then like she'd be the one that would whack you with a stick, going like, "You're a little shit."
I love that she made Rose carry those bricks halfway across town.
Oh god, like she was a character. She didn't say much. She didn't. We didn't even. Wasn't even in the book that much. But she packed more of a
You can.
punch in the few pages that she was on.
Mm,
Like that she was shown than a lot of characters can do. I mean, I prefer. I remember more about her than I do Avery. So even though Avery was the villain of the story, the fact that the grandma was just like pure
Yova.
comedy, like just pure
Yeah.
genius. She's just like the
Yova.
comedy
I
relief.
feel like showing his family, you can see where Dimitri got his funny side from. Because, like, a lot of people forget, Dimitri can be a little bit of a comedian. Like, he gives as good as he gets to Rose.
Yeah,
Like, the quips back and forth, like, you can see where he gets that from with Yeva.
yeah.
Like, you know.
And you can see that
And
it was very much loved, and obviously he was a big brother that was protecting people. So you can see where he got his, his personality traits from, which yeah was nice. But I think that was just her torturing herself. Like this is the
yeah,
in-laws. These are the in-laws I will never have. This is the family I will never have. And then sticking around and getting attached, and then
I
involving
think
herself in yeah. I think it was a bit much.
I think she stayed around because she needed to feel loved. At that point, she didn't think Lissa loved her because they had just fallen out big time. She
Hmm.
didn't feel like her mum loved her because she shipped her off to the academy and didn't really talk to her. She'd lost Dimitri. She needed some
But
time
she had
to.
Adrian, who professed his love basically before she left, and
But
she's like, "I don't really love you. I'm going to pretend." That annoyed me. That annoyed the shit out of me. Like, I don't love you, and I'm going to give you false hope. But I'll just take your money and spend it on finding the guy that I love, who's a Strigoi.
can we
What?
just, like, not that was book 3. We're gonna put that to one side.
We're not, because he's forms part of this story. This happened
Um,
because Adrian gave her money. If
yeah,
Adrian
but
hadn't
can we
given her
just talk
money,
about the
she...
family first? We were talking about the family, okay?
No!
I've lost my train of thought now. I can't remember what I was saying.
The family
Yes, the family.
was something.
I have no idea. I've completely lost my train of thought now.
Lord Squidly, do you know? No,
I
he
don't think
doesn't
he
know either.
does. Damn it.
No,
Oh well.
he's not
I'm sure it will come back
impressed.
to me. But can we also talk about Sydney?
I love Sydney. This
What do
is
you think about the
this.
alchemists?
I don't like the alchemists. They all seem like assholes, other than Sydney, who seems really nice. I like Sydney, but I don't like alchemists. No, we don't like them. No. Osgoodly agrees. I feel like she's gonna be a great addition to the story. Like, if she sticks around, if she comes back. I feel like she's gonna come back. This isn't gonna be the end of her. I feel like she's gonna like pop up somewhere um at the academy. Something's gonna go wrong and she's going back in chair. You won't bring a character in at this stage and give her that much page time and that much of an impact on Rosa's like Rosa's life. Just to just disappear.
Yeah.
Not no 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 no. But we do like her. Like her.
Yeah. No, I love Sydney. I do love Sydney. I
Yeah.
feel like we now need to talk about the extra spirit users that we've just discovered in the world.
It's the dead ones. the
Well, they're
ones that were
not
like,
dead. They're insane.
they might as well be dead.
I thought we'd talk about what's her name?
Avery?
Pardon?
Avery?
No. Oksana. Oksana. Oksana and Mark.
Who are they?
The one who,
Oh, the nice spirit user.
the nice
Oh,
spirit
the nice
user.
spirit. Okay, we like this one. We like this one. Okay, so we like this one.
We like this one.
Yeah, and I can understand why they kept it to themselves because obviously you could tell how using spirit affected her. But I just love that, like, they were also so warm and welcoming to Rose, knowing, and they knew like about the connection
It was
before
nice
she.
to see someone understand what Rose is going through.
Yeah.
It was nice to, when she was pleading with Oksana to try and help save Lister at the end, it was nice to see someone understand that
Oh,
bond.
and then Mark was just like, yeah, you do it what you gotta do. You like,
Yeah.
I would do the same. I was like, oh, bless. I really, really thought that it was gonna be a case of these two side characters came in. We don't really know much about them. They're really kind and helpful, and it's a kind and helpful couple that end up getting themselves killed. I was like really worried that she was gonna do this like side character kill off situation, like they sacrificed themselves to save her, and I would have literally yeeted the book out the window. That would have got 3. If that had happened, if that had happened, this shitty book of World of Books book would have gone out of the window. It's going in the bin anyway. But it, I'm gonna get the new copies. Not saying it's shit. I'm gonna get the new copies. But it would have gone out the window. Would have got a 3 if she'd have done that. I was so worried. I didn't want to read on. I was like, not, not.
So I guess that's kind of a good segue into Avery and the shit that went down.
I
Can
didn't
I
like
say
her.
that was the one plot line that I completely forgot about this book. I remembered Rosa's time with her family. I remembered her escaping. I remembered the bridge in vivid detail. But
We
ask
do
me
not
about
like her.
Avery. Ask me
No,
about what happened with Lissa in this book, and I had no clue.
we
Yeah,
don't like her.
no.
We
But
didn't
yeah,
like
I
her from
had
the
no
start.
clue. I completely blocked it out of my
How can you
memory.
forget that?
I
That's
obviously didn't.
like
I
a massive
obviously was like,
part.
nope.
Maybe you
I
were just all
completely
about the bloodletting. Is that your kink, eh? Liv?
clearly, I was clearly just obsessed with Dimitri. I was
Like, who
clearly
is this bitch?
Dimitri. Um, yeah, I was all about
No.
Dimitri, but I'd completely forgotten about Avery and
You did say you had forgotten some of the plot point, and you were like, I can't believe I've forgotten this.
yeah, and that was because I forgot all about it. So yeah, I was quite interested to actually read that part because I was like, I cannot remember this at all.
We don't like her. I didn't like her from the beginning. I thought she was dodgy from the beginning. I didn't expect that from her. I didn't expect it to be Yeah, Tony. I didn't expect it to be that. I didn't expect it to be a spirit user, but
I
I did just think that she was manipulating. I nearly called her Tori then. Not Tori. Lisa. Where did I get Tori from? I think she was manipulating her. And from the start, I didn't like her. And I did think that she was coming on to Adrian for a really weird reason. Like, I
so
was like,
I was the opposite. Obviously, I these are my true feelings about this because I do not remember this character at all. I instantly knew she was a spirit user. Like I clocked that on straight away. I was like, she's a spirit user. Don't ask me why, but I was like, she's a spirit user. Um, but I trusted her straight away. I trusted her. I was like, okay. So when things started to go wrong, that was when I started. Like when Nissa started going off the edge, I was like, hang on a second. Avery's a spirit user. I saw the gold in her aura. Like she's a spirit user. And her guardian seemed too close to be like a normal guardian. Like I was like, right, the guardian's
mm.
linked to her somehow.
I just thought he was obsessed with her. I thought she was just a conniving little bitch.
Um, and so I was like, right, this is this is sketchy now. Like this is getting sketchy, especially when Adrian started like taking Avery's side. I was like,
I feel like she was that girl that'd be like, why are you so obsessed with me?
yeah,
I really thought she was just. I thought she was using some kind of magic to manipulate people, but I didn't think it was
spirit.
spirit. And
Her
I also
vibes were
didn't think that she wanted, like, Lisa to kill herself.
yeah, her
I
vibes were
didn't
off
think. Yeah.
the full time, but yeah, I didn't predict the extent of it. I think she was power hungry because the more spirit bound, as we found out in this book, the more spirit bound people that you have, the more spirit you can use because there's more spirit you can draw from.
That was freaky. That whole, like, killing him and bringing him back to life so that they were connected to her. That was next level fucking psychotic shit, that. Not gonna lie. Like, that
Yeah,
was, like, I don't even. Her own
she
brother?
killed her own brother.
That to me is like. Psycho. She's not
She was
sweet.
proper
She's
psycho.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I did not, and it also explained why Adrian didn't do more like dreams with Rose after a certain extent
No, it's because
because
Rose was in her own little.
yes, she was, but Adrian is the kind of person that would ignore that and still do it. Like even if he said no, I still think if Avery hadn't been there, he would have come back.
Mm.
I think Adrian's that kind of person.
But he did end up going back, didn't he? And then she was the one that was very much like pushing him away.
Yeah,
So
but he could see that something was wrong. And I don't think Adrian's the kind of person that would leave someone who knew that was going something was wrong. I don't think he'd be the type of person to leave them.
yeah, true. I think she should have just when Demetri chose to go, she could have just been with Adrian and it'd have been the end of it. It'd have been better. We wouldn't have had this book like, we'd have had a totally different book, but it still would have been better because I really like Adrian. Adrian's a bean. He's a little bean.
What do we think of Jill?
Remind me who she is again? I've forgotten who she is.
The girl who freaked out over Rose and Dimitri being on campus in book 3, and the girl in book 4 who was training with Christian and went to court with Lissa.
Oh yes, her. I don't know about her. I don't know why he. I mean, I know why like Lisa was jealous for no reason. Obviously, we know now that it was like mind games. I think she's lovely. I think she's really sweet. I really hated how they were bullying her, and made her feel like shit, and that made me want to yeet them all out of the window. But I don't know why he's so protective of her. I don't.
Who?
Christine.
Well, he wasn't protective over her. Like, the reason why they broke up was because Lissa didn't tell him.
Yeah, but he was sticking up for her to begin with anyway. He was.
I don't think he was sticking up for her. I think he was just, as you would any, like, brotherly or sisterly affection, stick up for someone who's being
Oh no, I
bullied.
know. I don't think there's anything in it, but I don't know why he brought her around to begin with. Do you know what I mean? Like,
I think it was just
what
because
what is the
she's the
connection?
only one in his group at the moment. He was at the time. It was she was the only one he was training at the time.
But is it just a trainer thing, or are they related? Well, you can't tell me. You
Who?
fucking read it, haven't you? I
Who's
thought there was something else behind Christian's like protectiveness of her, like not just the fact that they were training. I
I
thought they were
think
like
that's just who
related or
Christian
something.
is.
I thought they were like related to something, but they didn't want someone to know that they were related because he didn't want her to get the shit that he gets for the fact that his parents voluntarily turned Strigoi. So I think they're related in some way, but he doesn't want to know, which is why he's more protective of her, other than the fact that he's just training her because he knows the prejudice he's received and he doesn't want her to feel the same. So I think they're related. So do I.
I'm not saying anything.
I know you can't say anything because you read it, but we're back on a smile because we like Jill. We like Jill.
So, is there anything else that you want to bring up?
Um, I'm trying to think. What else is there?
I think we've covered everything. We've covered all the new people. We've covered the main plot points. We've
The
covered the
whole
surprise
motherly
that was.
daughterly moment that they had, I thought was sweet.
Yes, that
That
was
she was
adorable.
like, she wasn't a hard faced bitch. After all, she still reminds me of Jocelyn, but you know she's not as bad.
Can we also appreciate Alberta?
No, who's
Why
she?
not?
I forgot her. Why have I
She's
forgot the person?
Alberta is the lead, basically the principal of the Dampiers. She's the head guardian at St Vladimir's.
Oh, she was the one that, yeah, the one that let her back.
Yeah.
Well, kind of, yeah. Said that like, yeah, you could back. Does she? You can't even tell me, can you? Like I feel like they wouldn't have brought her in if she weren't going to play a bigger part in the series. You wouldn't bring someone in. I know that
Who?
she's now like the
Alberta?
guardian. I know she's now like the head guardian, whatever it is. But I feel like she might play a bigger part in the books going forward. And if she doesn't, it's kind of pointless making such a big deal out of her being the one that Rosa now like went to
I
and
think the reason why they made something out of that was because Alberta knew about her and Dimitri.
mm,
And I think it was that acceptance that Rose got. It was that, I'm sorry, Rose. Like, she understood and she knew what Rose had done without even talking to her. It was that communication and that camaraderie that, and I think that was what that scene was about. It wasn't necessarily about Alberta letting her back into
mm,
school. It was about the larger picture of relationships.
mm. Can we talk about Dimitri not being dead? The big reveal at the end of the book that we just forgot to talk about.
Oh, and we also need to talk about another spirit user as well. I forgot about that spirit user.
But can we just talk about Avery not being dead? Avery's not dead. We know though she's gone crazy. But can we talk about Dimitri not being dead? Was that like that wasn't a shock to me, to be honest. But it was very annoying. Now he's just gonna stalk her and put everyone else at risk because she didn't kill him properly. And it wasn't like in hindsight she was like, "Oh right, yeah, I kind of felt that it might not have gone deep enough." I'm like, "Bitch, what?" At the time, she felt like it might not have gone deep enough. And she still was like, "I'm just gonna let you fall off this cliff, and you might die. You might not."
But I think in that moment she thought that it had. Like, in that moment, she thought she had gone deep enough, and she was ready to say goodbye.
It's not the way I read it. I read that she thought at the time she might not have gone deep enough, but she just risked it for a chocolate biscuit.
So I read it the other way around. I read it that she in that moment in time, she thought she had struck hard enough and high enough to hit the heart.
I don't know, but
The other spirit user, Mr. Dashkov or Mr. Robert.
Mr. Robert.
Mr. Robert? What do we think about him?
I don't know.
Because that was kind of like a big reveal that like this is how Victor knew so much about spirit.
I don't know. Is it? I don't know if he's gonna. Is it gonna? I don't know. I don't know what to think. I don't. I don't want to say like. Is it a good person or a bad person? Are they a good person or a bad person? You can't tell me. But I'm thinking that I don't know. I don't want to make any judgments until we meet said character
It's fair enough.
because I feel like it might I feel like it might be the good guy because obviously having two bad brothers might be um a silly thing a silly little goose.
But they did say that he was insane.
Yeah, but is he really, or is it just a lie they've told people so that they don't go looking for him and they don't go trying to seek him out? So they don't go try and seek him out to try and get help. And they've just assumed that because he gone. See, they didn't even really know that the reason behind what's his name? Like the original spirit user, they thought had just died.
To
They didn't
Vladimir.
yeah, they didn't realize that his guardian was taking his spirit, taking his darkness. Until they started doing more research into it. So I feel like if they spoke to Robert, they'd find better ways of managing the spirit. And I don't think I don't think he's as crazy as they made him out to be. I think he might be stronger than people have made him out to be, and they just want to keep him a secret because they think the spirit users, if they control the powers too much, then there'll be no limit as to what they can do. Because at the moment, the only thing stopping him is the risk and the worry that they're going to go crazy if they use it too much. And if Robert can find a way and tell them a way where they don't go crazy and they don't have to rely on alcohol and cigarettes like Adrian does, that there'll be no stopping them as like a power a power I would say power couple as magic users.
Okay, so I think what we should do, there is in the back of this version a Rose or Lissa quiz, which I think we all need to take. So everyone grab a piece of pen, paper and a bit of pen.
Piece of pen. I'm going to take a pen and paper.
Yeah, that'd be
Pass,
great.
pass, 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 pass.
Or a phone and jot down your A's and your B's. That's what you need to remember. Your A's and your B's.
I'm going to go. Go, go, go.
Just give everyone a second. Because this is going to tell you whether you're Rose or Alyssa. Okay. So, first question. Your favourite outfit is A, combats and a tight tee. It's all about the attitude. Or B, always a skirt or dress. You like to look pretty.
Oh, God. Right.
You got it?
Yeah.
What did you go for?
A, obviously.
I went B.
Surprise!
Your favourite film is A, Kill Bill, B, The Princess Diaries.
Oh. Mine would be B.
Okay. Mine's also B. Your perfect boy is A, dark, brooding, and would protect you against anything and everything. B, cool, witty, and totally gets you.
A.
I'm an A. Given the choice for extracurricular classes, which would you choose? A, self-defense masterclass, how to make eye Eyes at your dreaming instructor. Or B, magic and wizardry, how to unlock your true destiny.
Oh, that's really shit, because I would choose both.
I
Because I
would
love
choose both.
magic.
But I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm actually gonna go A. I think I'm gonna go A.
I think I'm going to go B, because I love magic too much not to try and use it.
Okay. Next one. You're on the dance floor with your best mates when a boy grabs you and tries some of his own sort of dance moves, a complete lack of regard for your personal space. You A, punch him in the nose. B, feel a little bit upset to begin with, but then turn around and walk away. He wasn't worth your attention.
Punch him in the fucking nose.
I would as well.
So don't touch me, you twat.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me.
Your favourite band is A, Linkin Park, although
Eh.
they were better better before you knew them. B, Backstreet Boys. Swoon. I'm gonna go B, Backstreet Boys.
Eh. Eh. Pepper Pen's not working.
B. Well, that's no use. So, did you get mostly A's or mostly B's?
Mostly A's.
If you answer mostly A's, Dimitri is in for a lot of trouble with a Rose Mark II on his hands.
Woo! I knew it!
If you got mostly B's, it sounds like you've got royal blood coursing through your veins like Lissa. Now, I got 3 of each.
It means you're bipolar. Woo!
What does that mean?
It means you're Lissa and Rosa on
Tony
different
got
days.
3 of each as well.
Well, I was going to throw this away then, but this is my Yalk timetable, so I can't.
You don't do that. Yeah, I don't. So, without reading the blurb, what do you think is going to happen in the next book?
Without reading the blurb, I think that Robert is going to come out of hiding and be like, "Ta-da, I'm not crazy." Did Christian and Lissa sort things out by the end of this book? I can't remember.
No, they were still broken up.
They're going to get back together again. I think Rose is going to try it on and going to try and move things forward with Adrian. And if she does, I'm going to hate her because she should have done it beforehand. And she should be using Adrian as a backup because suddenly she was like, "Oh, I'm noticing things about him that I didn't notice before when I was looking up on my instructor that I shouldn't have been with in the first place. I'm noticing this." And so, yeah, I think it's going to be her and Adrian are going to have a bit of a thing. And then Liz going to learn more about her magic. What's the next one called? Spirit Bound. Oh god, that's what Avery did, isn't it? So is she shadow kissed or is she spirit bound?
She's shadow kissed.
But she died and was brought back. So why is she not?
Kissed.
What's spirit bound? I'm lost. ...
We don't know.
Oh.
Do you want me to read the
I thought that's what Avery was with the other two guys.
They were
they both shadow kissed. Right. Read the blurb.
So, Rose's life will never be her own. Rose Hathaway has been outrunning death ever since she swore to be the protector of her best friend Lissa, no matter what. She's finally made it back to the Haven and St. Vladimir's, but with Dimitri, the boy she once loved, stalking her, Rose can only run so far.
I forgot about him.
She failed to kill him when she had the chance, and now her worst fears have come true. Dimitri has tasted her blood, and she knows in her heart that he is haunting her. And if Rose won't join him, he won't rest until he has silenced her forever.
Well, that doesn't say much about our Robert, does it? Bloody hell, that just says Dimitri's a stalker and needs to get put in jail with fucking illegal shit. I forgot about Dimitri then, even though we've just been talking about him. So
this is a whole
yeah,
20 pages smaller than book 4.
I thought that don't mean anything really though. There was a bit out of this that could have been cut out with all the fucking blood sucking. Um, so that could have taken away a good 20 pages. But I feel like we might hear more about Robert and maybe some more about the connection between Vladimir and his guardian. I wonder what Spiritbound is. I want to read that book now.
Well,
I
it is
can't.
this month's book.
I can't though. I've got a whole of the rest of my TBR for this week. I'm in the middle of reading The Honeymooners, and I've nearly pissed myself laughing twice. So that's gonna get a 5 stars. But yeah, I am really enjoying the series enough so that I'm gonna bin these shitty old copies and buy myself a brand new set. And I feel like this would be something that I would come back and reread, even though I have been given him 4s apart from Frostbite. Unless something can be as dramatic as what happened in Frostbite, he's not gonna get a 5 stars. I don't think that just broke me, but also made me happy, but then broke me again. Um, so yeah. Oh, Tonic, yes. But also no, because he's gonna fuck with her mind, and she's gonna be focusing on that when she should be focusing on Lissa. And then something else is
But
gonna go
what
wrong if
makes
he
you
turns
think that
up.
he's going to fuck with her mind?
Because his daddy issues in it. He's not been
The
around the
thing
whole
is
life.
that during the whole of that book, he did not for during the whole of this book. He persuaded her. He did manipulate her a little bit with the whole Victoria situation, but he didn't force her to do anything that she didn't want to do.
Yes, but he didn't say that I'm your father. Like
And
Darth
at the
Vader.
end of
I am your father.
and at the end of the day, he came and rescued her.
Yeah, but now that she knows that he's her dad, like she's gonna have so many questions about what he actually does. If he comes into her life, I think she's gonna be like have so many questions for him that it could end up distracting her again. And we don't need another relapse of concentration and focus. We don't need her to make some stupid mistake again because it's gonna be book 5. She
What
can't
do you
do it in
think?
book 5.
What do you think is going to happen with her and Dimitri?
She's gonna kill him. Oh no! There's that thing about curing him, isn't there? We forgot about that. That thing that you can do to cure him. She's gonna try that, ain't she?
That's a fairy tale, though.
But is it? But is it? Is it? We don't know. I don't think it is. She might find this Robert. This Robert might tell him how to do it. That's a thing. It could happen. Robert could be this really powerful being. It could like I don't think it's crazy. I think he might know how to do that. And then he's gonna bring it and be like, this is how you cure him. If she does that, I'm yeeting it out a window, sorry. No, she can't do that. It can't be like, oh, everything's better. Dimitri's now cured. He needs to stay Chicago and then die. Is what he needs to do. Yeah, it is family related, but do we need really family drama on top of vampire drama? On top of her and Lisa trying to get her shit together. Do you know what I mean? What if Spirit Bound is this Robert telling her how to cure Dimitri, and then he gets bound to her because she cured him, and that's what Spirit Bound is? And she's now bound to Dimitri because she's cured him of this growing illness. Not illness, but you know what I mean. Olivia's trying to hide her face. That's good. That is it, isn't it? I've cracked it. Thank you and good night.
I didn't
If I,
actually hear what you were saying because I was thinking there was a plot point that I wanted to see was happening in this book
you
or
were
the next book.
lying. Why are you lying to me? Why are you
What did
lying
you say?
for? Look
What was
me
your
in my eyes,
theory? What
bitch.
was your theory?
I think don't hide your face again. I think Robert's gonna come back into. Robert's gonna come. They're gonna find this Robert and find out that he knows how to create this thing, was it the stone or something, that can cure Dimitri, and that she's gonna cure Dimitri, and because she cures him, that's what spirit bound is when you cure Strigoi and turn him back to human. And that's what spirit bound is. Don't tell me I'm wrong. I'm right. She's gonna call Dimitri, and it's gonna be a convenient plot point. And then she's gonna get back together with him, and then she's gonna lead Adrian on through the whole book. And then all of a sudden, he's gonna turn around and meet. She's gonna be there. She's like, "Bye, Adrian."
So the plot point that I think think this is the one. Yeah, it happens here. And then something major happens at the end.
Because she did. He touched that thing that she had, didn't he? And she said that she saw a glimpse of what it was really like. But then she they said they can't create those anymore. But she's gonna find a way to create one, isn't she? And they're strong enough to change him. Because they looked at each other, that Oksana and Mark looked at each other like, bitch, you don't want to go there because it's just, you don't want to go there. But, she's going to go there, isn't she? Because she's got no chill. She's going to do something to fuck it up, isn't she? She's going to be like, yeah, I'm going to turn it back. That's what it is. Thank you. When we're back here next month and y'all say that I'm right, I want claps all around.
So on that note, we are going to end. Unless there's anything else anybody wants to add.
Mic drop.
Book drop.
Yeah. It's a shitty book anyway. It's all yellow. So
is that Spiritbound?
No, that's Blood Promise. So yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to disappear. Good night, everyone. Thank you for joining. Hope to see you next month. When we will, it'll probably be, it will be next month. Hopefully I'll actually do it on a weekend.
And you'll all be saying, "Oh my God, Lisa, you were right." And I'll be like, "I know, thank you." Like, well, thank you for joining, everybody. It was lovely having a discussion.
I love discussions about my favourite books. Enjoyed the theories. I'm not clever enough to theorise. I can't theorise because
You know.
I know.
I can theorize, and I've just got it in the bag. I am a genius.
We'll see. Right, good night, everyone, and I will see you all next month.